Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 210 Culture Podcast. Like always, I'm G.
I'm Dom.
And Donna.
And of course, we have a very, I think my audio is really low.
Very important guest.
No, my audio just sounded really low. So we have a very important guest with us. We have the assistant manager or GM?
Assistant general manager.
Yes. I'm sure. Oh, it's on the card. Right? It's on the card. I can do this.
Read the card.
I can read the card. I got this. So yes, we have assistant general manager from the San Antonio Missions, Bill Gert.
Woo!
All
I
right.
butchered it again.
Let's go.
I butchered it again. I'm bad with names. But thank you for taking time out to be out here with us today on this Sunday.
Especially during this COVID time.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
sure.
It's good to get out.
I know, right? It is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the cabin fever at home.
So
I had to break out of my house.
that's funny. You broke out. I had to break into my house yesterday,
Oh
which is a whole
God.
different story. Because
Yeah.
it was my dad's birthday. We left our cars over there, so I took his truck to drive him around and get him confused for his surprise birthday. So I had to go home real quick, and I totally forgot I didn't have my keys to get in. So there I go, look like a crazy person trying to break into my own house to get in, which I
Wow.
did, but we're good. Nobody called the cops on me, so.
So what'd you have to do, break a window or?
No, I just had to,
You know the old
Jimmy,
credit card
Card-
trick where
on
you
the
had
door.
to-
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good.
yeah.
But that's also bad because it just means that they could
Anybody else can do
easily
it.
break in through the door.
That,
need to
that
put
makes
one
you
of
feel
them
real
chains.
secure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, I mean, the good thing is that it needs to be thick enough to get in, so you can't just use like a business card, because I tried that and it didn't work.
No.
Yeah,
So-
it's to be critical.
So there's a little security there. But of course, this is a very exciting episode for us.
Very.
It is.
Yes, because I've been going to the mission since I don't know how long. I can't remember. I have a lot of memories
Since
there.
elementary.
Yes, like we were talking before the show, back when the DARE programs, that you go to the baseball game. I've caught in a couple of foul balls and gotten them autographed, so I have.
Ooh.
I
Yeah,
have
I
a
fought
lot.
with some kids to try to get a ball. So, you know.
I still have my helmets for the snow cones come in, so I still have a collection of those too. So it's been fun. It's very fun for me.
I feel like it's a big part of San Antonio to go to a missions game. I mean, that's something you got to do when you come here.
Yeah, that's why we couldn't really go without a season of baseball
Yeah.
because minor league got canceled this year, so we had the Flying Trunkless.
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Yeah.
So our last game, we had over 2,000. We had 2,001 people. The last game,
wow.
we had to turn away.
They made
like
it out?
500 people.
Oh,
Dang.
wow.
So that was really my first main question, because I know y'all were having games, but how do you even get tickets or get an area to go for that?
Well, we actually had to have a plan to social distance in it, and also everybody that came in the stadium had to have their temperature checked.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody had to wear masks. We had sanitizing stations set up, and actually, for the first time in my 24 years, I had to be an usher because we were kind of short-staffed. we had to kind of chart out all the seating and seat everybody where they're at least 3 people away, and there was a row in between.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Dang.
and then we had that's why we had the stipulations 25% of our total that we normally could have at a game. So
Right.
Yeah, because I see my friends that have gotten tickets, and I'm like, how do you get tickets? Because I've been looking, and I was like, I don't see.
yeah, well,
Special.
I mean, we had we couldn't. This year we didn't have any comp tickets or anything because we only had 16 games, but we had the $2 nights on Tuesdays, and that our last game was on a Tuesday. The Tuesdays and Thursdays we had the $2 nights and the dollar nights,
Yes.
and we really made up for a lot of the slower attended games earlier in the season.
Oh, okay.
And the last 2 weeks were really good for us. They kind of at least made it worth it. We actually did a lot better than Round Rock and Frisco in attendance.
Wow.
That's good.
That's a surprise. I mean, especially in Frisco. I mean, there's a lot more population over there. You know, I mean, that's great for us.
Yeah, it shows got the true baseball fans here.
Yeah, heck yeah. Everybody grew up on it some way, somehow.
And of course, we have a connection on the podcast to the missions, which is Jose.
Jose.
That is me, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Former
as-
bat boy.
He was
Shout
a
out to
former
me.
bat boy.
Yeah,
And-
so I'll tell the quick story of my first day of being a bat boy. Like I said, I've been watching minor league baseball for forever. I grew up in Salem, Virginia, right there. The Salem Red Sox were there, so shout out to them. But I'd been watching Bat Boys forever, and that was always like the dream job when I was growing up. And I was like, well, I mean, being a Bat Boy at age 20 would be pretty fun, I guess, too. So, I became a Bat Boy, and the first day I like put on my uniform and everything. I was like, yeah, official, feeling real nice. So I'm in the visiting clubhouse. Leadoff guy gets a base hit, and I'm just watching. I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. And then the umpire, I just like see a bat just fly across my face, and the umpire just throws the bat into the dugout. I'm like, oh, that's my job. I have to go grab that thing, don't I? And that began my nurturing relationship between Bat Boy and watcher of baseball. So it was pretty fun. It was a good time. No complaints.
It's a lot harder than it looks too, right?
Oh, definitely. Let me tell you, umpires are very sassy about their drinks. If they don't get like they special request, like, can I get this flavor of Gatorade? And you got to run around, go find it in between innings, and then run and go grab it to him. And yeah, it's a bit of a stressful time.
Plus, you got to clean all the shoes and do a lot of work in the clubhouse.
Yeah, cleaning off shoes, especially the games. It rains. It's not a fun time, guys. Let me tell you that. Very muddy, but we appreciate it. The players.
Good thing in San
appreciate it.
Antonio, it doesn't rain here that much. So
You would think.
And help launder all the uniforms and all
Oh,
press
Yep.
and fold,
Yeah, that's that
Starch it
life.
up.
Did you have to help Henry get in his costume?
No, I did not. But I've seen Henry unmasked, and it was an ugly sight. I don't want to see that again.
And there's actually 3 different ones.
Oh.
Yes, there is.
really?
I actually go out during the puffy taco chase and take the kid out for the puffy taco chase. I've done that for quite a while.
That was a goal of mine too at one time.
Be Henry.
To be the kid, and then after I was like a teenager, I was like,
Oh.
well, I'm never gonna be the kid. So
I thought to be in the puffy taco costume. I was like, we can make that happen.
We can make it happen.
I
Run around.
actually did a 5K in the taco suit.
What?
Ooh,
I
what?
finished the whole thing?
Here?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
actually tripped and fell too.
I think there was a lot of cushion in there.
Oh, maybe not that
No.
much. I remember skinning up my knee.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna
okay.
say, thankfully, I am one of the generations that got to see the puffy taco, and then the puffy taco bring in the jalapeno. So,
Jalapeno. Yeah.
and was Sweetie gonna be a part of it too? Now,
Uh,
the Boom Miller's one.
oh,
or
the Miller's Iced Tea. Yeah, actually,
Sweetie.
Sweetie he was the only one there during the games this summer because of all the cost cuts. We didn't bring in the mascots, so Miller could bring in Sweetie.
So how did that come about? Like, how did the, I guess, mascot of Sweetie come
Everybody
about?
loves tea.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, yeah. But
I mean, I guess they thought, the missions have a mascot. I guess we have to have one too.
Fact.
And to promote their iced tea, it's the first year they've been out the ballpark too.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
they're a corporate sponsor. So
do you know the
Nice.
story behind the jalapeno? Like how it became a
it was
Jalapeno instead.
my boss's idea,
Mhm.
and I think it's like a relative of the puffy taco.
that was like the puffy taco
Makes
makes sense because of
sense,
Henry.
makes sense.
And really, the puffy taco has been, recognized on America's Funniest Videos. He was named Mascot of the Year
Yeah.
by Baseball Weekly back.
Wow.
It was like 10, 15 years ago.
What?
The fact that the lettuce just moves is like what makes it great.
Yeah,
Because he's
it's a
dancing,
real
you just see
taco.
the lettuce just like bouncing around.
Or, and last year they talked about him on the MLB Tonight. They were talking, Matt Viskersian, the guy who does the Major League games on ESPN now, actually used to do the games for El Paso.
Oh.
And he remembers the puffy taco.
Wow. That's
And actually,
crazy.
Brian Anderson, the broadcaster for TNT, does Milwaukee Brewers, does NBA. He started with the Missions. He was there 7 years.
Wow.
And he actually played catcher for St. Mary's.
Oh wow.
And so I got to work with him for 7 years. Now he's kind of a big star.
Yeah.
I'm still here.
I think that's the one thing I love about minor league baseball. It's kind of like the All-American game that like you go and you don't realize what you're watching until like years later when that one or two athletes go into like the pros and they become household names. You're like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, look, I had so and so, and oh yeah.
I
remember
actually
that."
work with All American Bowl too.
Oh.
I've done that for 11 years. I got to pick up Tua Takalo, or I can't say his last name so well, from Alabama. He was drafted by the
yeah.
Dolphins. Tua.
Yeah,
Chua,
true.
yeah.
Yeah,
I know you're talking
I know
about.
about it. I can't remember. the name.
But anyway, I picked him up at midnight at the airport, New Year's
What?
Eve, and had to take him to downtown to the hotel. So that's quite an accomplishment. We actually got to watch the fireworks together when they went off. And then I also got to pick up the quarterback for Clemson as well.
Oh, really?
Uh,
Blondie?
yeah, the
Sunshine.
The
I call him
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
the guy with the long hair.
Looks like
I
Sunshine.
picked him
from-
up and gave him a ride to the hotel. They brought him in as a junior to promote the game for next year.
Oh, wow.
So I would do a lot with the transportation, but
Yeah.
it's kind of cool to meet all these people.
That is really
Yeah,
cool.
I know. I used to go like all the time because, of course, all the coaches like we got tickets here. Who wants to go? They get
Well,
to the seniors.
Actually, if you guys want tickets later this year, I get a ton of tickets.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
I've-
definitely.
That'd be awesome.
You
I
know,
love going.
I've been an umpire during my high school all the way up to college, and the umpire, you're the eye of scrutiny. Everybody's looking at you like you better be calling. It's like that was too low, that was too high. It's too out. It's just, in baseball, I rather be on the outfield, watching for seeing if it's an inside fly or making sure that it's in the field, outside, everything. That's where I'd rather be. That's where the action's at. And then when you're the guy behind the plate,
You know what? I
That's
I,
good.
I have a horrible experience with that myself.
very.
Like when I was younger, I have had LASIK surgery, but when I was younger, I had really thick glasses and couldn't see that well. And I was behind home plate, and naturally you have the bars, you can't see through them so well.
Yeah, you have a little vision right here.
And then
one right
one of the pitches, I guess, hit the dirt, and it bounced up in the strike zone. I called it a strike, and I got booed by the whole crowd. And then they moved me out to second base after that.
Yeah, it's a tough position there.
So
Why would you want to be in the outfield? I thought that was like where nothing really happens.
Oh.
No,
unless
because
it's
that-
like a home run and stuff, right? Because they're like on the outer.
That's where all the action's
well, no, but
at.
some of them like you have to see like if it like hits the dirt and jumps over. Or,
But Donna, that's the
Well,
point.
yeah.
You don't have to make calls, so no
Well,
one boos you.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
boos
But like
off.
they'll
But-
boo you if you don't catch an air ball or something.
Like, look at the missions games. There's 7,000 umpires at the game, and,
Yeah.
and a lot of them boo you every time they think it's a strike. Even not, if they're on the other side of the
Yeah.
stadium, they can't see the strike zone.
Yeah, they can.
That was a strike. I can see from here, but you can't even tell from there.
yeah, and then when the missions are pitching, all of them are a ball regardless. It could be right down the middle. That's a ball.
Everybody's a critic.
Of
Um,
course.
So real quick, do you want to kind of go through like how you became assistant GM from where you started to now?
Well, I started out. I worked in retail. I worked for Foot Locker, and I managed a store at Ingram Mall's Sports Fantasy.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
okay.
And I got to do a couple fun things with the retail part, but they actually like closed my store at Ingram, or they closed all of our stores around the country, all 60 stores. And so I heard of an opening at the Missions, and I got hired as a merchandise manager. And to cut out all the boring details, I worked my way up to assistant GM in 2007. I started in '97, but I've worked in sales, and I've done a lot of different things. I've done actually one year I was kind of an MC on the field. Not we did most of it from upstairs, but I did some of it from the field.
Right.
And I did a lot of the on-field promotions, and I ran the store several years, several different times with the souvenirs. So it's been a long journey, but it's been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of great experiences. Seen a lot of really
Right.
good players come through.
See, and that's what's always great, like about missions or the flying chocolate, everything, is that you never know who's gonna end up in the spotlight. Or they were in the spotlight and they're trying to revitalize themselves.
Or you see somebody and you say like, "Oh, that guy's going to be really good," like
Yeah.
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, it's like listening to
He's
music.
going to be
yeah.
good. Or Adrian Beltre when he played here. you
Yes.
could tell
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
good.
yeah.
I didn't even know until right now. I was looking at the book that
What?
that he had played. I was like, oh wait, what? I was like, is that the right one? Let me look again.
I'm like, no way. Just same name, same name.
We've had 9 Hall of Famers play here, so
Wow.
that's pretty amazing.
That
Is that good? Huh?
That's
Wait,
more
9?
that's more than
Yeah,
a lot
9.
of big league teams have. You know,
Yeah.
Wow.
look at the Montreal Expos or Padres. Some of the newer teams, Marlins, or I don't know, the Marlins even. You know, they may have played for several teams, but they didn't play their whole career with the Marlins.
I was gonna say there's players that didn't even play a full season this year.
Right, not at all.
I love that, and that just shows the versatility of the whole minor league system that they replaced the whole Marlins team.
Hey,
when
but
they
they've
all
been
got
playing
COVID.
pretty good.
Yeah, they're 7-2. They've been playing real well right now.
Real well.
I thought that was just funny when they were like, "Yeah, they put all 18 on COVID reserve, and they got a whole new 18 guys to play." I was like, "What?"
I don't know if it's real funny with the COVID.
Well, not the COVID, but it was just like
No.
instead of being like, "Oh, well, we're gonna like not count the team," they're just like, "Oh, we got 18 new guys, we're good."
But it kind of put the commissioner in a different light
bind.
because they're saying like this guy's real insensitive because you know he doesn't really care about the players. And they were accusing him of doing stuff, and they said they were maybe didn't follow the protocol, but they weren't going out to clubs and stuff when they got it. So,
Yeah.
But you know, it's who knows with the COVID what happens. When
Right.
people get
Yeah.
I mean, well, it's a long season, but it was like the bubble idea that the NBA is doing. I think it kind of is a good idea for the fact that it's a short time period, and the fact that you can kind of monitor everybody if you keep them
Well,
under the same.
the only thing with the NBA, it's a lot smaller.
yeah,
So you
Yeah.
only have, you know, what
20 players maybe on the team.
or
like that.
12, I think. With MLB, it's like 28, and then you have coaches and
Yeah, a lot
yeah.
more people, a lot of replacements as well.
yeah. so-
Finding a place with enough field is tough too. You could try playing at spring training facilities, but that makes it more tough and very not watchable. Some spring training facilities are almost like high school, but it's nice though. I respect the facilities though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a cool thing going to spring training and seeing all those different fields because you never know who you'll see out there that'll go up to the majors later on. You'll see all these prospects, but for games, not so good. I mean, they don't need the stands or anything, but yeah, it would be kind of ridiculous. Not very exciting, like he was saying.
Yeah, I mean, again, with, you know, in basketball, shorter amount of players. Baseball, a lot more players and, you know, a longer season, too. I mean, I think putting people in a bubble for a baseball season, that'd be cabin fever right there. I mean, that and, like, not enough room because you need that. Like, you know, there's a game every day.
Yeah, well, there's there'll be 60 games, so that'd be kind of tough.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
tough.
that's what I'm saying. It'd be kind of tough for baseball. With the
Yeah,
16,
well, like
but-
you were saying, there's not enough stadiums either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like the only place that has like 2 stadiums now is Arlington because they haven't torn down the old stadium yet. But,
Yeah.
I mean, except for
Yeah.
the spring training.
We're very
facility.
sentimental about our fields, I guess. But, you know, I mean, I feel like they have to do, like, sectors. Like, this sector is going to be bubbled up over here, and this sector is going to be bubbled up over here. I mean, if they want to do something like that, kind of like Orlando, in, like, certain areas that has multiple fields.
It might be like Chicago where they have a lot of independent league teams or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Arizona, but even like Florida, Arizona have a lot of COVID right now. So
Yeah.
that's impossible.
Florida, us, California,
Yeah.
New York.
Although, even though they're having the bubble in Orlando.
Yeah, that's strange, right? But yet nobody has gotten a case. You know, nobody's had it or anything since it began so far.
We
Knock
might
on
see
wood.
that for the playoffs. I expect we see something like that for the baseball playoffs. So once
Yeah,
we
for the playoffs.
once we narrow it down, I could see us having like 3 centralized bubbles or something of that nature. But
Yeah.
I mean, we need to get through 60 games first. We're barely through 15. So
Yeah.
I was gonna say they could at least like divide the half into different bubbles, have the NL and the AL like bubbles to kind of help keep the capacity and have them like 2 different cities and then just make one bubble for the World Series.
But it would be definitely interesting to see how they would do it, just games going on at the same time. But I mean, honestly, like I said, we have to get to the playoffs first.
Well, another thing is that TV. You know, if they did a bubble, then they couldn't have the games on at a time where people could watch them, and that's the main reason why they're playing now is the TV revenue.
True, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only revenue they have. Really, there's no fans, no
Well, when's the playoffs supposed-
souvenirs, no no tickets.
Yeah.
When's the playoffs supposed to start? October still, or are they pushing
Yeah,
it
they
back?
have it the same time period.
Same time.
They can't go later because of football. They'll get
Yeah.
destroyed by football.
If football, our football plays this year too.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's also
Yeah,
the thing we have. To
Well, I
talk
was
about.
gonna say because technically, I know that ESPN complex where the NBA is at now, that has like everything. It has baseball fields and stuff, but the NBA should just be finishing up right when the playoffs start, if I think I'm correct. So that could still be a
Yeah,
possibility.
by October.
But because I know now, I was looking for a trip for Orlando. I know like half the hotels are just sold out because they're all for the bubble. So, so I don't know if Disney's gonna want to do that again and then sell out the whole, pretty much the whole resort. So it's gonna be like you said, almost double or triple the manpower that the NBA has. So then nobody would be able to actually go to Disney. But I know that would be one place because I think they have like 4 or 5 baseball parks there in that
Yeah, they do.
complex.
Yeah.
ESPN Park.
Pretty much.
Bill, is it weird having a season this year without having actual minor leagues? You guys scrambled for these college players that are all pretty local. I actually know a couple of them, which is kind of funny. But is it weird having, I guess, younger players in there?
Well, I mean, when you get right down to it, it's still baseball. The skill level is naturally not as good, but it's everybody enjoyed the games. The really weird thing is not starting in April and kind of waiting until the end of June and then being over in a month. It was kind of like having a season because we had 15 home and 15 away in July, but then now it's over. so it's like we play 70 home games normally,
Yeah.
so we played 15.
Oh,
so
wow.
Oh.
so
Yeah.
it was kind of weird in that aspect.
Yeah.
And then seeing how we're always like in the playoffs
Yeah.
Yeah.
to extend the
But-
season.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Very.
And I was showing you my rings here from
Oh, yes.
from all the different seasons. This one right here is the first one from 1997, and we beat the Shreveport Captains. They were actually played at the fairgrounds in Shreveport, and it was kind of my first experience of traveling to games in another stadium, and it was a great experience.
Yeah.
We won. We were up 3-0, and they actually came back and tied us.
Pretty.
And then it was
3-3.
game 7, and so we came back and won the final game. Our first baseman, I know, made a barehanded catch because he couldn't reach it with his glove,
barehanded.
and so
That's cool.
that was one of the reasons why we won. And actually, the pitcher that won the game, his name is Will Brunson. He pitched a little bit in the major leagues. He I saw him this winter at a banquet.
Oh, wow.
Where it's a charity banquet they have every year for, it's called Jaden's Journey. It's for kids that have mobility issues. They raise money
okay.
to get
That's great.
tricycles and get the kids back,
That's awesome.
get their motor skills going.
Yeah.
And it's funny, they actually had like a 50-50, and I didn't want to enter, but I went ahead and entered it, and then I won like, I forget what was like $1,280.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so Will goes like, "Oh man, Bill, you should buy this steak dinner thing." He was playing around with it. So that's the last thing I heard. And then like a few weeks later, and also Will and I kind of went back a little bit because when I used to manage my store, he used to come by my store at Ingram Mall.
Oh, wow.
He played at Texas State, and then he signed. He got traded to the Dodgers. And so I would see him periodically.
Yeah.
And then I saw him with the Missions, and he won the championship, and I got the great ring and everything to go with it. And
That's
then
cool.
after the banquet, he went out hiking out at it's out in West Texas, and he was hiking and he had a heart attack, and they airlifted him and he passed away.
Oh, no.
So it was pretty. That was
Wow.
just the beginning
crazy.
of this year.
Yeah.
It's just like been such a horrible year.
It has.
But just to kind of know him for a long period of time.
Right.
He was scouting for the Phillies, and so that's why he was at the banquet.
Oh, wow.
And so it was like wow. One of my nephew who's a writer for ESPN.com.
Yes. You showed
He
us
said he actually
article right here.
that's from the Kansas City Star when he worked for him. But
Mm-hmm.
he was saying
Awesome.
that a friend of his went out to the same place, and the same
Same
thing happened to him.
Wow.
That
That
he
place
had
is
a heart
cursed.
attack. Yeah. It's
Very.
I don't think I'm going hiking.
Not over there.
Because I
No.
think-
There.
Stay clear.
But I guess Will had had some health problems before, but it was just wow, so crazy.
Right. Yeah.
Same place.
We do have some comments here. So I
Okay.
have Cynthia that's saying hola.
Oh,
And then she said,
como
wow.
está?
Hey,
There you
they
go.
got you.
And so she said, wow, he definitely worked his way up. Daniel from DR Woodfire Catering, he said, what
Daniel.
up, my peeps? Bill
Hey, Daniel.
Gert. I pronounced it correctly,
Yes,
right?
uh-huh.
Okay, good. You're looking good. Sorry, couldn't make it, but doing deliveries right now.
Well, hope you're doing well after your transplant.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos
He's
to you.
up and running. He's
Yeah.
just everywhere.
COVID's not affecting him. He's like, I'm going.
He was like, when he got out, he was like, all right, can I go now? Okay, bye. And they were like, no,
I
you gotta sit here.
know.
We had him
I
on a
know.
couple of weeks ago, and he was telling us, yeah. So I was like, yeah. He went to the doctor, and he told the doctor, can I start lifting weights? So yeah, he can lift a little bit of weights, like 5 pounds. He's like, okay, cool. I was doing 15 yesterday. And the doctor was like, what?
Killing it.
And of
Killing
course, DR Woodfire
crazy.
is one of the sponsors of our podcast.
Yes, he is.
So make sure you get one of the family meals that he has going on for the $50 for this
Yes.
month.
It's really good.
We've seen a lot of people hit us up for it, thinking that we're the ones doing it.
Yeah.
So
How
We
do
are
I
not.
order this? I'm like, we're not
so,
selling.
yeah,
it.
so we know people are buying into it, and of course, right now, so I can plug all our sponsors. Shout out to Southside Craft Soda. Again, I still haven't met up with Andrew to get more soda, but that's
Wow.
working. And of
Really
course,
looking forward to that.
Texas Bearded Cartel. So make sure you get all your Bearded Cartel gear. And of course, Southtown 101, where we're at right now,
Southtown.
and Pub Sports Radio, where you're listening live
Yes.
or watching live, depending on what it is.
So we do have a couple more comments. Joel, he's my mijo.
Correspondence.
He said shout out, and he said Anaheim Angels all the way. we
You
have
know what? Mike Trout played in the Texas League. I saw him play at Bull Stadium.
Wow.
And
Wow.
I saw him at he was at our All-Star game in 2011.
that's crazy.
Him and JD Martinez
Yeah.
both played in
Joel's gonna be jelly.
So we have Anne Marie Smelser that said, "Hey guys,"
Hey.
and we have Joel asking a question that said, "What do y'all think about LA Dodgers pitcher Joe Kelly throwing fast balls at Alex and mocking Carlos players for the Astros? Do you think the Astros deserved it?"
The translation, he's talking about Joe Kelly throwing
I remember.
throwing at the Astros players and then
Yeah, I
making fun of
saw
Carlos
that.
Correa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Jeez.
hey, and you know something too? Alex Cora was on the team when I first started in '97. He was our
Really?
shortstop. Yeah.
Oh.
That's cool.
Wow. See,
It's
you
a
never
small
know.
world. And
Yeah.
then now Ronnie Renicky, who's the manager of the Red Sox. I'll show you. Well, here's the Alex Cora card right here.
Oh wow.
Alex Cora is my father since he won a World Series with the Red Sox. So he's my
And
father that's gone
Ron
right now.
Renicky is the manager now. He was our manager in 1997.
Wow. That's crazy.
And Ron Renicky is also my stepfather now with the Red Sox. So I appreciate him as well.
But anyway, well, Joe Kelly, you know,
Nice.
he wasn't
Big
even on the
six.
team either when all this happened. He was on the Red Sox. So it's kind of crazy he did this when he's with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And only one was intentional. Only one. The fastball.
He had the curveball going. Right?
Yeah. He threw a curveball at Correa. It slipped. What of it? And then the fastball was a 3-0 behind Bregman's head. That one was definitely on purpose. But I mean, it didn't even hit him, so it's fine. And plus, the Astros are getting off pretty light without the fans being there.
Very.
When the fans are hopefully there next year, it's going to be merciless. The booze.
Well, and also like this year, a lot of people bought tickets so they could. Sorry, Astros fans, but they actually like bought tickets to boo the Astros this year, and the COVID actually
Wow.
helped the Astros out
Right.
PR wise.
For sure. I was
For
definitely one of
sure.
those people. I already had my Red Sox Astros tickets purchased. I was going to bring a trash can, and I was just going to smash on it the whole
He
game.
Sure did. He sure did
I
say
had
that.
my plan,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate.
Very.
I
He's
actually,
ready.
I actually got to go to one of the games in 2017. Well, I had to buy a ticket, but, of course, but it was. I always said, you know, you never know. This might be my only chance. Who knows? It may be my only chance to go to the World Series. So,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know, it's
No
expensive enough just buying a ticket, but you know, if you don't have to travel real far, it just made sense to me.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
I think you went to a game too that same year, right? With your
Oh, I
Zach?
went to the Rangers game. So it
Oh,
was
the
during Pudge's retirement game that they were honoring him. So we went out there, but they were playing the Astros. So it was like, oh, cool, I get to go. And then they had was it Jeff? Yeah, it was Jeff Bagwell that went to Hall of Fame the same year. So they had him come out too. So they like recognized both of them, and then you got to take a picture with the plaque. Cause when I was in the league, I used to play catcher, but that was my idol was Pudge. So I was like, oh yeah, I gotta go. So then I told my dad, I was like, I don't care, we're getting tickets, we're going. And my dad's like, I'll buy you the tickets for going. And so I know how much you love him. So we both went, and then we stood in line for like about half the game. Cause we went like in the 5th inning. We didn't even watch the end of the game because we were in line to go take a picture with the plaque. I was like, I'll take a picture with the Hall of Fame plaque because they brought it and then they were gonna take it to.
Or the World Series?
No, not for the World Series. They were gonna take it to the.
Jeff Bagwell's Hall of Fame?
Yeah, well, it was Pudge's in Arlington.
Hall of Fame play.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but they had gone in the same year, so they had set it up where when they were gonna honor him, they were playing the Rangers in Houston, and then when they're honoring Pudge, they were gonna play the Astros.
Bagwell actually hit a home run at Wolf Stadium. They played an exhibition game in '99. Astros and Detroit Tigers, and Bagwell hit a home run. It was on
Yeah.
SportsCenter. So
Are you the Are you the Wolf Stadium historian?
I know for real, right?
You got
We're
a
lucky
treasure trove
today.
of knowledge of this.
I've been around for a while. I'm the 2,000-year-old man.
I was
He's
told
actually
to
a
ask.
vampire.
Oh, that makes sense. I was told to ask about Roger Clemens in Wolf Stadium.
Well, I know in the strike in '94, he actually threw for exercise because they had the baseball strike.
Yeah.
I wasn't working there at the time, but this friend of mine told me about it. So that was pretty cool. He actually pitched against the Missions in Corpus Christi.
Yes, I was just gonna bring that up. That I remember like how excited I was. I was like, oh, that means he's probably gonna come to the Missions, and I think it was like the game before he was gonna come and play here that they called him back up. They were talking about it, and me and my dad was like, "Come on, Dad, let's get tickets. Let's go watch him pitch." And he's supposed to start because he didn't play the day before. And they're like, "Okay, well, we'll go that evening. We'll go see if we can get tickets." And then that morning, they were like, "Oh yeah, he got called back up because he finished
In
rehabbing."
2001, the Mariners came and Ichiro played at the Wolf.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. And
Mariners.
Lou Piniella was the manager. They won 116 games that year. And I saw them in the playoffs against the Yankees. They lost both games, but they flew me out to Seattle, and I got to watch both games. That was pretty awesome. But
Not a good-
heartbreaking
good
to see him
I
lose.
was about to say
like
that's probably the most scarring moment in Seattle baseball history right now. So.
You always root for the big league team, you know.
And then I remember when y'all had the Little League World Series, you had Mexico and
All the
the
Little
Texas
League. Love
team.
it.
They had played that expedition game there. And I remember going, I still have the shirt and everything that I bought, and I was like, I don't know who to go for. Because I used to watch it like religiously, and I was like, I wanted both teams to win because they were like close to the semifinals. So I was like, I don't know what to do. So we went to the game. I think, and then when was last time we go? Last time we was 4th of July.
Yeah,
I think the year before.
it was a couple years.
They had
back
the
when
Olympic
they had Kevin
team
Fowler.
out. They had an Olympic team out there before too.
Really?
They used to go around and play exhibition games before they would play in the Olympics.
Oh wow.
Pertinent information for Missions fans: Fernando Tatis just hit another home run.
Was it to start the game?
No, they're in the 4th inning, but he hit a 2-run home run
All
just
right, awesome.
now. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
I-
again pretty good at baseball.
I'm pretty big fan of the Padres because we were with them 12 years.
As am I. Yeah, yeah. I love watching the Padres now, especially seeing all these guys that I was around and watching them on the Missions is pretty cool.
That's great.
And actually, I saw Fernando Tatis Sr. play on our field because he played for Tulsa.
Tulsa.
My first year, and we had the AA All-Star game, and I have this picture in my office. It's one of the whatchamacallit, the big wide picture.
Oh, the big wide picture that you
Yeah,
have
the
to roll
panoramic.
out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Panoramic, yeah.
Panoramic.
Wow.
And he's in the picture. Kevin Millar's in the picture. He was playing against. He played in that game.
Against.
And Mike Coolbaugh, the coach who was hit by a foul ball. He died in it in
Oh,
the game.
wow.
He was from San Antonio. They had the Mike Coolbaugh Award. He went to Roosevelt High School.
Oh, okay.
And his brother
That
used to be the hitting coach for the Rangers,
Wow.
Scott Coolbaugh. But anyway,
That's crazy.
and then Paul LaDuca was in that game. He was our catcher. He was a 4-time All-Star. One of my big highlights, I went to the Astrodome for the All-Star game, or no, it was a Minute Maid. And I saw LaDuca catching and Eric Gagne pitching, and they both played for the Missions. So that was kind of I moved down to the lower level to watch that. My seats were like
No,
way
I'm
up
going
in
down.
the 500s.
Nobody's sitting down there. I'm gonna go take a seat.
Well, I watched kind of through the.
You
the
kept
peek-
moving
where
down,
you could
further
peek
down.
through, you know.
Yeah.
I kind of just peeked through and watched it.
That's funny.
I think it's just crazy because even we had gone. When did we go to the stadium? Like in January.
I went to Houston.
We had gone that there was a 5K
So-
going on that
Oh.
Daniel was doing the walk for.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I was looking
last
at the
year.
banners on top that you had someone who was like, that person played for the Missions. I was like, dang, I didn't realize. I forgot who it was, but you had like 3 or 4. And I was like, he played for the Missions. He played for the Missions. But it was like before I was like old enough to like pay attention. I was like, dang, that's cool. I was like, I didn't.
Yeah, Brooks Robinson played for the Missions.
Mhm.
16 Gold Gloves. Ron Santo played for the Missions.
Dang.
And Billy Williams, 2 Hall of Famers in 1 season,
Mhm.
which is pretty amazing. Pedro Martinez.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Hey,
I
Never
saw
heard of
Pedro.
him?
Martinez,
Yeah, I saw Pedro and I was like, he played for the Missions. I was like, dang, that's cool. It's like, 'cause-
Mike Piazza.
Yes.
Yeah,
Wow.
Well, he's not there yet, but Adrian Beltre is going to be there.
Ooh.
dang.
I actually have a crack bat of his at home. I
Gotta frame that up.
I should have brought it, but someone might have tried to jack it.
Yeah, be careful with those splitters.
So you have another comment from Joel saying, actually, the San Diego Padres was the first MLB team I saw live at their stadium. Used to go to the weekday games for cheap when I was a kid. Then my brother moved to Orange County and we became Angel fans and went to those games all summer long. Love both teams.
You know what? The first major league team I saw, or game I saw, was the Cubs versus the Padres.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
man.
I hate to say this, but 1974. But you know, and
1974.
you know who won the game? Steve Stone, the broadcaster.
Mm.
He
wow.
was pitching, and then 6 rows in front of me,
That's crazy.
Ray Kroc was sitting in front of me. He used to own the Padres. But the guy who started McDonald's, my brother was
Wow.
saying like, don't go talk to him, because I'm so don't be an idiot.
Oh,
So
God.
I stayed away.
Some advice. Some advice.
It was probably a good idea.
Get
So you
taken
see
out.
this bet right here. What signatures do you have on there?
Well, this is from our '97 team.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
So,
We used to use bats like that.
well, this is a little league bat, but
Oh.
still, Paul LaDuca is right here,
Oh, wow.
and
See, they're people just like us.
I wonder. Yeah, here's Alex Cora right here.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that
And
signature before.
but anyway, if you want to look at it, go ahead.
Yeah.
But
Got a weapon.
I've got a few. I've got a few
Yeah, better not
autographed
make me mad right
baseballs
now.
at home.
Oh.
So.
Just don't wipe off the signatures.
Okay, no, sorry.
What is
Everybody's getting
your
all sweaty? Like,
What is your most prized baseball
Ooh,
artifact that
yeah.
you have?
Yeah.
It's probably the Tony Gwynn sign ball.
ooh. And is it in like a glass casing or a
Oh,
plastic
yeah.
casing?
I have like probably 200 baseballs in glass cases.
And that
Like
one's
in your
your
office?
most favorite.
And then also the Stan Musial too.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say it looks like the Sandlot,
Wow.
the Sandlot trophy case.
Yeah, no Babe Ruth in there.
Some lady gave it to him, Baby Ruth.
Yeah, or no Lou Gehrig. No,
No, look at it.
Probably Stan Musial's the best one. I do have a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar basketball too.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's
And then
gonna-
footballs, I've got Earl Campbell, the Tyler
Love
Rose
that one.
football that's personalized to me.
Ooh.
And then I've got Eric Dickerson signed football,
Mm-hmm.
a Marcus Allen signed football.
That's awesome.
But
How do you come across all these things? Do you just
They're like, hey, here, down the ball.
Do you ask?
I have connections to like the
Oh,
sports.
no.
I take people on appearances, and
Oh.
like this guy just hands me a box full of jerseys,
Stuff.
and then I'm looking through it, and it's like I have autographed George Gervin. I didn't even know it.
Whoa.
It's one of those where you kind of come across them and you're like, oh crap,
Oh,
I
this
didn't
is
even know
going
this was
to
in
me?
here.
Yeah,
Great.
I wish I would have got a Tua autograph. Though. I mean, I didn't know he was going to be that good,
Right?
but I've been pretty, I've been lucky, to come across all this stuff. Plus,
Right,
like
yeah.
I've when I went to the World Series, I got to have breakfast with my nephew the next day. He was covering it for ESPN.
Yeah.
He wrote the whole wrap up of the Houston World Series, the Boston World Series, and the Cubs World Series.
Wow.
So he's
That's
got to do some
awesome.
really, and he covered NBA as well too.
Yeah.
He wrote. They used to have this book called Pro Basketball Prospectus, where it had like all the players and projections and stuff. And he co-wrote that for 4 years too.
Wow.
So
Nice.
he's been a
That's
writer.
very
for
tedious
about,
work there.
He was staying busy.
Yeah.
Well, he used to play Stratomatic as a kid. Him and his brother. His brother wrote for the Sporting News. He was a fantasy basketball expert for them
Ooh.
for
Oh,
like 4
wow.
years. So two
Yeah.
writers in the family too.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're all from Iowa, so you had to have a little talent because they're not going to just say like, "Oh, I want this kid from Iowa." Because no.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
growing up, you've always just loved baseball. Like
Yeah,
it's
you know
always just
what?
been a
People
thing?
one kid in high school told me it's like, you really like baseball, but you can't play baseball very
Oh
well.
my
What?
God!
And
Jesus.
he goes like,
Kids.
that's not gonna do you any good.
Yeah.
So I was like,
You're like,
now
look
I'm
at me now.
Well, it's not I haven't done that great a thing, but it's at least I've made my
No.
living at it for 24
you're
years.
like lessening this. This is great. You have so many connections and
I
know
was
so
gonna
many
say, I was
players.
gonna say, you, in this talk, you've had 3 mentions of going to a World Series game.
I
Yeah.
know. This is great.
Well, I've just been to one, but I've been to an All-Star game. I actually worked the finals I did a sports sticker. I actually got the job through the missions. But
Wow.
I covered Spurs games for 4 years too as,
Oh, wow.
as media, but I'm not really a writer. I just get quotes for them, and
Oh, gotcha.
I got to talk to Robert Ory after one of the
Big
championship.
shot, Rob.
Yeah.
Or not Ori, but trying to think of his name. He would also play for the Rockets too, but
Oh,
Mario Ellie.
Mario Welly, that's who I talked to,
Yeah.
and got to see all these people. I saw like Larry Bird and all these people.
Wow.
Tommy Heinsohn, one time I heard these guys talking. It was Tommy Heinsohn and Bob Cousy. It's like, wow. And one time I sat by Dr. Jack Ramsey. Well, he's deceased now, so I'm sorry.
R.I.P.
But anyway, he didn't acknowledge me at all. He said hi to me, like acted like, what was that?
Who are you?
But anyway,
So you would talk to them and you'd ask them like for a quote, or you would
yeah,
just,
like the Mero Ellie, I get a quote, but a lot of time I would, get quotes from the other writers because
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel really comfortable doing
Yeah.
it.
Right.
But
So from
one
what
time
you-
I asked Pop a question, he got really mad at
Oh,
me,
really?
which he tends to do.
Right, yeah,
It's
he
really
does.
serious.
And then one of my friends, he asked Paul Westfall a question right before he got fired, and it was on Sports Center because he got real mad.
That's the dream right there. That's the dream.
I know it is.
but it's fun, just
What has been,
no
like,
one
the
else
best
knows
quote?
about it. It's probably us, but
Yeah.
it's funny. Just like you just texting him on Facebook or messaging him and saying like, "Hey, but what about that time Paul Westfall gave you?"
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I think as a journalist, that's probably really like your golden moment, because even if you write like the best article, no one's gonna remember the article or whatever the story is. Like it'd be like brick or rumor, but like there, if you become part of a soundbite, all the commercials later, like what's his name? That one coach who's all playoffs. You can't talk about playoffs. Playoffs.
Yeah,
Like everybody knows the quote now, and it's
it
just
was
like,
Jim Mora.
yeah, there you go.
Playoffs.
Yeah, it was like that was just a famous quote that no matter what you say.
Yeah, we kind of run that around the office sometimes when I say, "You think the Missions will make the playoffs?"
Playoffs. I
What
know.
has been like the best, not the best, but probably like the funniest quote that you've heard, from doing that with the Spurs?
Well, actually, the funniest thing I probably heard was from an athlete, former athlete, was like, I do clinics with like Chevrolet. That's one of my corporate sponsors. And Jimmy Wynn, he just passed away this last year. Former Astro great, Toy Cannon, former San Antonio Bullet.
Oh, wow.
And
Dang,
anyway, he had a stroke, and so I was helping him up the stairs, and I was saying like, "Oh, yeah, can I do anything for you?" And he goes, hey, could you give me a date with Halle Berry? And I said, oh, she's going to have a baby. And he said, I wish it was mine. That's probably the funniest thing I've heard. It's like,
Same.
you know, in his condition and everything. It's like,
Yeah.
man, he's a pretty funny guy.
So what's in that box? Is that another ring?
Well, I actually brought one of my rings in there. I should have brought one of the last box. It lights up. It's
Yeah.
like this big.
Ooh.
But this one's pretty
That's
nice
nice.
because
I know.
it's got
That
my,
box is way
Museum
cooler.
of-
it's got my name and everything on it. So,
Ooh, okay,
That's
I'm
how you
sorry.
know you made it.
well, actually, a friend of mine
Get a ring box.
he made it for me,
Oh,
or had it
wow.
made
That's
for
really
me.
cool.
It's from a promotional company, but
Yeah.
Ron Gray, thank you so much. I appreciate it, man.
Wow, that's awesome. And so what about all the other rings? Because you
All the
mentioned
other
there's
rings,
one.
97.
we
I was gonna say, that's the one that has the most sentimental because it's the first one.
I know.
Yeah, the first one's always the
Actually,
hardest one.
this is 2002. We were with the Seattle Mariners,
Ooh.
and also, well, this is 2003. This one's a little bit cheaper because I think we won back
Back to back.
back to back, so they kind of skimped on him a
Wow.
little bit, unfortunately. But
That's disrespectful.
cool.
Yeah, that is disrespectful.
You gotta go
I
back.
don't think it's even real
It
gold.
should be
or
shinier.
anything.
It should be shinier than
Because
the
like
old
this,
one.
this one's like 10 karat right here.
I was gonna say, but I kind of like that one though out of all of them. Well, except that one. I think I like that one more.
And
Like
then
the stars?
they kind of started doing silver. This one's pretty nice too. The silver ones are nice. I do
least
like
you
that
have-
SA one.
That's really cool.
I like that because
Yeah.
it's a full logo.
I like how this is just a retirement plan we're all passing around right now.
Oh yeah,
It really
these are
is,
awesome.
yeah.
And then like one of them has our record.
I think it was
It's
that
a
one.
2011. I'll show you.
Yeah,
I think that one it says 92,
92,
50.
52.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this one's even better. This one we won.
I like this one.
We won 100 games.
That's
This
what she said.
this was our best team ever.
Wow.
That's cool.
I think it's this one or this one right here maybe.
Do you have a best missions player ever?
Here it is, 100 wins right here. But we play 140 games, and then playoffs, so we won 100 games. So we were a pretty good year.
Ooh, 100
Favorite missions
games.
player, probably Fernando Tatis Jr.
You guys got to jump on the bandwagon now, Donna. Whenever someone asks you about your favorite baseball player, the answer is Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay.
You know
remember
what?
that.
One of my customers, they did a jersey night, and so I had an extra jersey made up of the Sandlot, you know, and it was a number 23 Fernando Tatis Jr.
Oh wow.
And I was going to have him sign it, and then he broke his thumb, and so
Oh
I
my
still have the
goodness.
You can
jersey.
still sign like
Sign it
that.
with your foot.
Sign like this.
With your
Hey,
foot.
hey, all you need is a photo. That's all you need.
But,
Just put some blood on
But
there.
he just kind of, left really quickly after that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on a fast track to the majors.
Yeah.
Dang.
Sure.
But anyways,
awesome.
him and Beltray, were the two players I really liked a lot.
Yeah.
And let's see, I got to pick a favorite Mariner. Trying to think of the Mariner player that played here. Shin-Soo Choo played here as well.
Choo choo.
Ooh.
Shout out to him.
He was a
Rangers great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ranger. Yeah, I was like Ranger. Yeah.
Yeah, the Mariners had a really bad management for a while, and they traded some really good players. So Shin-Soo Choo was one of them,
Yeah.
and Rafael Soriano was really good too.
Yes.
I actually took him back and forth quite a bit.
Uh-huh.
He did a rehab here, and he actually asked me to have a drink after a game, and then a friend of mine was with me, and he brought another friend, and the other friend was on insulin, so he had to go take his insulin shot, so I couldn't go meet Soriano. The only time I've been asked, to meet with a player, at least say like, hey, how's it going? And
Yeah.
I couldn't do it. But anyway,
That's awesome.
Dang.
So
I mean, just meeting a
That's
lot
such-
of
that's
famous
such a
people,
good-
you know?
Yeah.
yeah. I
So-
mean, back in the old days, I used to pick guys up at the airport and kind of show them around a little bit.
Yeah. That's such a good. It seems like a fun job to have.
Oh,
Seriously.
it is.
Meeting
the
and
tar
greeting.
their tarp pulling is a really drawback.
Yeah, yeah.
I like hurt my ankle. I was in a boot for
Oh,
7 weeks
no.
one time.
Did you happen to catch the Nationals tarp debacle today? They
I didn't see that.
they
no.
they tried to pull up the tarp today, and they got coiled up in.
Oh,
the,
I heard.
in the-
I did hear about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it said it was all twisted up.
terrible thing, and it was like a monsoon, and the infield was just getting soaked.
One time we had the tarp rip. We had a brand new tarp, and it caught on the. We had a real strong wind, and it caught on the seats, and we have metal seats.
Yeah.
Right,
it
yeah.
we heard this like,
Ooh.
and then I've seen like a tent like blow away before.
Put some duct tape on it. We'll be fine.
We've had all kind. You know, we've been injured putting up tents, different things like that. All
Wow.
kinds of crazy stuff. Because back in the old days, we used to do everything by ourselves. We put
Of
up.
course.
Right.
Now
yeah.
we're smart enough to hire people, professionals, to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
So what's the silver book?
The silver book.
Yes.
That's my college yearbook.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But actually,
Cards are sticking.
I used to wrestle in college.
Oh.
Really?
I was on the team, but I had knee surgery.
What?
I was invited for a reunion, which I was kind of surprised because I never wrestled in a match. But I had knee surgery, so college was way too much fun to wrestle and try to make weight.
Yeah.
That's true.
and
No, just
but
drink
anyway,
this beer, drink this beer and make weight.
or go out and have a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I still kept in shape, but just I knew
College
my
too
knee
fun.
was screwed up for life anyway, so it's like,
You're like,
I don't
forget
think
it.
I want to screw it up
He's
again.
like, I ain't going to
I'll
the
just
Olympics.
drink.
It's fine.
I don't want a fake knee.
I have this card here, Wilton Guerrero. It's Vladimir's brother.
Okay.
He was a batting champion in the
For
Texas
dunk?
League,
Yeah.
and he actually taught Vladimir Jr. How to bat.
How to bat.
Wow.
Because
That's-
his dad was gone all the time.
I was gonna say, that's when I started realizing like I'm getting old. When the players that I remember watching when I was little, the sons are coming out, the juniors and the thirds, and
Right? I'm like, what?
I'm like, what? Yeah. When they were like, yeah, Vlad Junior plays. Like, wait, Junior? Wait, what? I was like, they were like doing the math. I was like,
David Jr.
I was like,
the
yeah,
third.
that makes about sense that he should be his son would be the same.
This is my college yearbook. I wrote an article that talks about all the players from our college that were in the minor leagues.
Oh, wow.
And one of them actually played for the San Antonio Dodgers.
Oh.
His name was Bill Sobey. He made it to Double
Bill
A.
Sobey.
But anyway, Gary Gaetti, he made it, and he hit 360 home runs in the big leagues. But I actually played intramural football against him when I was in college.
Oh,
wow.
And he was a quarterback.
Yeah.
And we actually beat his team, and he was just flag football.
He's like, I'm more of a baseball
Hey, it still
guy.
counts.
No, but the funny thing is, and this is a true story, you can choose to believe it or not.
Okay.
But
All
anyway,
ears.
I was a lot smaller than him, but I still wasn't very fast. But this guy, he caught the ball. It was at the last play of the game, and he comes like flashing by me, and I put out my hand and I grab. It's like, darn, I don't think I got the flag, and I look and I see the flag in my hand. And so we won the game. Otherwise, no one could catch this guy.
Yeah. Wow.
But I got lucky.
believe
I
it.
think it was my only tackle.
He's, I'll take it.
But anyway,
Hey, but
it's
it
a
matters.
Good, it's
Like
a
it
good,
was
it's a good memory though.
Yeah.
Because, this guy, he used to manage like the Sugarland Skeeters also till about 3 or 4 years ago. He played for the Royals, Cardinals, Reds. He played for Red Sox briefly.
Briefly, Jose. Briefly.
And
All
his-
Red Sox are welcome.
His son made it. His son made it to Double A,
Oh.
wow.
and so I got his son to sign underneath there too.
Oh, wow.
But anyway,
It's a lot of history. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
That's great. I mean, like my dad, he grew up in Cleveland, and he went to school.
Hey, Cleveland's so good. LeBron left there twice.
Yeah, he was
I
a
heard
big
that
LeBron
joke
fan.
on Twitter. so I
Yeah,
had to-
seriously, he was the biggest LeBron fan, like because he would be watching since he was in high school. He was Irish, and he was a skinny kid, but he can jump. But my dad went to school, and he went to school with like Drew Carey,
Oh well.
and then he also Gerlich, the taco Mike Gerlich, like they be having the talk show. He met him there, man. He's like, man, that guy was so huge, but they had to get him to lose a little weight because it was kind of troubling back then. But he was big, massive.
Wow.
So it's great hearing stories like that because you're like, man, like you think that they're always been a monster, but it's like everybody has a beginning, and
Yeah.
I have a story. You remember the Cleveland fan that got Larry Miller to punch him? The owner of the Jazz.
I heard of it.
no.
But anyway, my friend knew the guy that
That started
got Larry Miller to punch him. He was from Cleveland,
He
though.
was from Cleveland. Hey, they're crazy in Cleveland. Cavaliers, the Indians. I mean, they're crazy for all their teams.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. Well, the Dog Pound is. Well, they did a skit on Drew Carey about him like getting locked up.
Yeah, I used to watch that.
That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So, do the missions have any upcoming events that you?
Well, right
wanna
now
share with the
we're
audience?
just trying to find out what's going on with Major League
Right.
Baseball. We have until September 30th, and our agreement runs out with the major leagues. And at this time, it may come down to us being associated with the major league teams instead of having a minor league baseball. Where we have like a Pacific Coast League and
Right,
league
yeah.
presidents and everything. I think they're wanting to restructure it to where we just work, like say if we're with the Texas Rangers or Houston Astros, we'll kind of just deal with them and not
Oh wow.
have all the league. Well, they have 60 people just in our minor league offices in
Wow.
in Florida.
Yeah.
So it all costs a lot of money. So I think they're
Yeah.
looking to streamline a lot of things, and they're also wanting to cut out like 42 teams, which we're not in danger of losing our team, but there is a possibility of us moving to AA, or maybe later on going, building a new stadium and going to AAA, because they're talking about
Wow.
expansion for major leagues, like Montreal, Las Vegas, and some different cities. But
Yeah.
I think everything's kind of got sidetracked for right now.
Right.
But, we were kind of getting closer to looking at a new stadium, and right now it looks like we're a little bit delayed because there's no money.
Right. Yeah.
Our owners don't have
lacking
money,
right
and the
now.
city doesn't have money.
Yeah, for sure.
And I don't think we can just trade players for washing machines anymore.
I think in the Texas Collegiate League, I think, what did we trade a player for? I don't know. Like one of my friends, he was in independent ball, and he traded a guy for some maple bats.
I always think about was it the Will Ferrell basketball movie?
Semi-pro.
Semi-pro, where they trade that one player and they're all, we traded you for the washer and dryer and I think like a bag of gum because we ran out of gum or something. He's like, you traded me for the washer and dryer. He's like, well, how else are we gonna wash the uniforms? Like, we don't have.
Good point.
He's like, good point.
I was like, I know you guys don't have to work because you're AAA, but I know down in like probably like the single A, they're probably still like, we traded you for some hot dogs because it was hot dog night.
Yeah.
I get right now. A lot of them are wanting to just survive right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I can imagine.
and,
Yeah.
For sure.
Plus, with going 17 months without income, a lot of teams are a financial issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to think.
Yeah, for sure.
Are the missions one of these teams that are struggling financially, or has the Texas?
I mean, I know we're not doing great, but our owner owns like 7 teams.
Oh.
So he's actually in negotiations. He's on the new bargaining team that was just announced last week. But they're
Nice.
trying to keep the minor league offices. I don't think it's feasible right now.
Right. Yeah.
Understood.
And do we still have or I guess I should ask, how long do we have this agreement with the Brewers for?
It was just this year, so
Yeah,
wow.
we just
we're
switched.
up for a new team.
So we're free agents right now.
We're free agents right now.
And yes, Jose is gonna say rent.
And a lot of it,
Bribe.
yeah, geographically.
I was about to say geographically, it doesn't
it's
make
not-
sense,
it's not gonna
unfortunately.
work.
It has to be the only team that would really get the crowd going is the Astros. If we get the Astros to come on in, take it from Corpus or something.
I was gonna say, and then let Altuve like pull a hamstring for a couple of weeks, let him come down and
See what happens.
have trash can night and
Trash can night.
Trash can night.
Yeah, they had talked about Sugarland being the AAA team for the Astros,
Wow.
but they're in the independent league team now.
Oh.
Gotcha.
So, I don't know. Like they used to have a $20 million price tag to become a AAA team. So, this all has to be figured out financially too.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
financially, that's
and,
the big
and,
word.
and when they get rid of these 42 teams,
Mm-hmm.
That's going to hurt a lot of cities. And,
Yeah, for sure.
and people that work at the ballpark.
Yeah.
Man, it's
Lose
crazy.
jobs that might be their biggest income to the city, those teams. So
I mean, the games may just be pay-per-view, just like everything else.
Yeah, they do like college leagues like we did this last summer. That might be an alternative because last year they only had a 5-round draft. So they may do a lot more of these college leagues and
Yeah.
things like that. So,
yeah.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
minor league
Yeah.
baseball keeps cities alive. That's the beauty of minor league
Yeah.
baseball. I
Yeah,
mean,
and it's great PR for Major League, which I can't figure out why they wanted to do the Field of Dreams game.
Oh, yeah.
Even though it was in Iowa, but I grew up in Iowa. But anyway, I just don't think it was. I mean, they spent what? I don't know how many millions of dollars. It's at least $7 million on a new stadium.
Yeah.
For that one game, and they can't play it because of COVID now.
yeah, yeah. I was excited to see it. Field of Dreams, great movie. Let's see what they do with it. But yeah, COVID ruins everything.
Hit a home run in the corn.
Yeah, exactly. Someone run into the corn maybe for a ball. Who knows?
Yeah, and then they'll come back old.
Yeah, exactly. Precisely.
Get hit with the cob.
They come back with the glove and it's a ear of corn into the ball.
Joe DiMaggio will just suddenly pop up like, "What are you doing here, Joe?"
Maybe Marilyn Monroe too.
Yeah, there you go.
Everybody.
Babes up. I'm next to bat. Whoa, where'd you come from?
Whoa.
So yeah, so definitely follow the missions, social media, and all that stuff to
Go
see
watch a
what's
game
Yeah.
Next-
Buy some
next
tickets.
next year.
when they
Season's
come
over.
up.
April
Season's
or
over next
April or
Next
May.
year.
Fingers
April or
crossed.
May.
Fingers crossed.
Well,
We gotta
I know
get there.
I know we're gonna play. I just don't.
No win.
Who's gonna play?
We don't have a schedule.
That's why you
we
gotta
don't have a
follow.
league.
Well, yeah. That's why they need to follow on social media to keep up with them and see,
Yeah.
when their new schedule's coming out. And
I mean, you just saw how many rings we just looked at today. I mean, there's more to be made. Come on.
And everyone that doesn't watch baseball closely, root for a team with a very good farm system to pick us up, so we can have some quality players to watch, some future major leaguers. I'd hate to see the Tigers and their top prospect come down to San Antonio.
I have a feeling it could be West Coast because there's no. Even if we go to Double A, there's no West Coast Double A teams right now. So.
There you go.
Oh, maybe we'll go back with the Padres.
Options,
That'd be
options.
fine. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah.
Or hopefully we'll
Yeah.
see.
Yeah, so follow.
Yeah. And thank you so much for coming
Thank
out.
you.
We
Thank
really
you for
With
the
all the
appreciate it.
invitation.
Everything.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I
thank
enjoyed
you.
talking with her.
Yeah. And thank you to Daniel too for, making that connection too.
Yes.
So we really appreciate
And,
that.
and OJ too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
that's what I was going to say. I was like, yes.
I know Daniel just randomly messaged me. He's like, "Would you like to have one of the assistant GMs from the missions on your show?" I was like, "Why is that
Yes.
even a question?" Yes.
You should have already booked
I
them.
was like, "Yes."
Well, if you ever want to have me back again, or
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe during baseball season.
Yes.
Yes.
There's actually baseball season going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Daniel gives me like 2 of your numbers, and I was like, "Which one do I call or text?" He's like, "Yes." I was like, "Okay, thanks."
Okay, thanks.
I was like, "Thanks."
Call them both.
Hey, I made it. So.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
it
true. That's all
works.
that matters.
So again, thank you for being on the show, and thank you guys for tuning in to another episode.
Yes.
Thank you.
And like always, I'm G.
I'm Dom.
And Donna.
And
I'm Bill.
Yes.
And
Bill.
There you go,
Bill.
and
Yes.
Bill.
There you go.
And for 210 Culture,
Bringing the best of 210 Nation.